And that's my next question, leads to my next question, which is, what is love to you?
To me, love is a healing energy. I have done a lot of work with energy. I do daily meditation, daily Tai Chi. My meditations are energy meditations. And on the energy spectrum, we have the high frequency energies and the lower ones. So, the anger and the fear are lower frequency, but love is one of the highest frequencies. And that being that, I believe, is where, for me, it just goes hand in hand with healing. If we can come at things from a loving perspective, then we are more likely to be stepping into a healing.
So true. How did you become a writer, Danielle?
Well, it's of my desire, I suppose, to want to help people. And my first book was born of working in IVF for 20 years. As I'm a nurse and a midwife, and I worked in IVF, and I witnessed the struggles that people endured during that time, that journey. And often they were very common struggles. So many people were going through exactly the same experiences, but they were doing it alone. They didn't recognise or realise that other people were feeling exactly the same emotional responses as they were feeling, the same sense of loss, the same depressions and anxieties that they were feeling as well. Because people often don't talk about it, it's often something that people go through on their own. And some people do experience, they get the families involved for a time, but if they experience many failures of cycles, then sometimes they stop seeking that support, because the support from families can then turn around to be pressure. So a lot of people do end up enduring the ups and downs of this really emotional journey on their own. And so many people that I saw would have been amazing parents. And I suppose the book itself, so the theme is about infertility, and the first half of the story is about that. But the title, the subtitle of it is Life After IVF. And I myself, it's a little bit about me too, I suppose, the second part of the book. So the second part of the book is about what I now do. So in order to help myself deal with these people, I became a counsellor to give myself more skills. And then I started to really become fascinated with the power of the mind and what was possible when we choose our thoughts and what we can achieve with mind-body potential. So I then became a clinical hypnotherapist. And really, that's where the second part of the book was born, because within that, I actually talk about potential, and I talk about what's actually going on in the world of infertility, and how when we do again gain control of the mind, take ourselves out of stress, we can turn around the body's responses. And in fact, mind-body practices have been seen in some studies to show, there's a clinic in Boston, Dormer Centre, using mind-body 10-week programs, and it's been shown to turn around fertility success rates by up to 55%. So it just really clearly shows that our mind is so powerful, and our bodies are amazing. I mean, and this is the work I do now, our bodies turn on when we are perceiving ourselves to be in stress, and IVF or infertility is very stressful. Fertility is one of the first things that actually turn off. And so I wanted to write a book to help people. I wanted to write a book to educate families that this is a common experience, that people go through these things, that, their loved one isn't suddenly becoming this person they don't recognise for no reason, because that sometimes is the case. Relationships often don't survive. So I wrote it to educate, to support, and to validate people on that journey. But the second part of it, I wrote to actually get some messages out there about what can be done and what people can do to help themselves along on this journey too. So it is actually quite an uplifting and inspirational book, because it is about transformation. It's about overcoming adversity, and it's about taking the wisdom from a painful experience and turning that into something precious and using that wisdom to move forward in life. So in the IVF setting, in order to protect themselves, people do sometimes shut themselves off, and they do keep it secret, and they don't talk about it, because the additional pressure that is put on them by well-meaning people asking questions, a lot of questions, and it can just serve to deepen their sorrow, I suppose, if they haven't had the outcomes that they were desiring to have. it's a tough journey. It's a very tough journey. But yeah, I think if we can allow ourselves to be vulnerable, if we can allow ourselves to be, and it's about being honest, isn't it? I think it's about being honest and being true to yourself. And I suppose even, again, for myself personally, we are all on a journey, and every day is an experience. Every day gives us something to take away from if we're open to that. And I will talk in a completely different way, even in this interview, say things in this interview that I might not have said 5 or 10 years ago, because I might have thought, oh, who's listening to this? And what are they going to think if I say that? That's a bit out there. But I don't care now, because I own who I am, and I believe I have a message. People can take it as they take it. And I think when we can move into a space like that, it's, for ourselves personally, it's a healthy place to be.
I love that. I absolutely love that. It's true. So true.